and welcome to Beyond the Game official podcast, episode 4. I'm your host, Matteo.
Piper's trying to eat my food again.
We're never gonna get like a proper intro thing ever, are
Never.
we? Never?
Never. And I want to keep that trend going. As many times as I have to say in the beginning that I just took a fat shit, I will do it.
Wait, but what's your Twitch handle again?
Okay, we're not going to talk about that.
Alright,
let's just say I will never get any, like, advertisements or sponsors with that name.
Don't doubt yourself.
Unless it was by Manscaped.
I don't even think Manscaped does that, so I think.
Dude, Manscaped gives out freaking. They give out sponsors to like anybody, even if you ask. But contrary to popular belief, I've heard that they do nick your balls. So, false advertisement. Seems like I've had that problem before too.
Yeah. All day, every day, I deal with that shit.
Yeah. And today we have on our second guest of the podcast, SimizenJ. How are you doing this evening?
I'm great, thank you.
Let's just run down the Sims resume here. I mean, I feel like
it's impressive.
It's a very impressive resume here. Like she runs a not podcast.
She's
I'm the.
She runs this podcast now.
She runs this podcast. She actually took it over.
Manager.
She flexed on us and was like, "This is my podcast now, bitch."
I'm the manager. Send me all your Karens, please.
So she runs a Discord with, let's say, like 10,000, like at the least or more.
Please, there's 2,000 in it.
Yeah.
I thought it was more than that.
But it's the official UCF business Discord.
No, unofficial.
Unofficial?
Don't get us in trouble.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, it seems pretty official the way you guys
mainstream.
handle it. I mean, like, you guys don't really have, like, because a lot of people in those Discords, they like to have, like, little cheat sheets. They like to, like, have answers going around. Like, you guys have pretty strict rules when it comes to that. So, I mean, if any means, it is a quote-unquote official College of Business.
Yeah. We already had, like, one of the UCF administrative staff come in and be like, you can't, like, allude that you are somehow like connected with UCF, we don't sponsor, we don't support you in any way, and you need to make that very clear. Because originally, so right now the server is called UCF Business Students, and originally we had called it UCF College of Business, and that was it. And they said because we were calling it like the College of Business UCF, he was like, yeah, you got to change the name because that makes it sound like we set it up, UCF set it up.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, even after we changed the name, and even from like the very beginning, like our introduction screen, like our welcome screen is always mentioned, like this is an unofficial server, like we are students who made this, and this is for students, kind of like Discord's thing, like made by gamers for gamers. We changed ours to like made for students for students.
Yeah.
And we have like a little feedback form, and some people don't know that this is like not made by UCF, and we've had some.
It's really like it's literally the people who just like scroll past the like all the blah blah blah, and then say like I've read and acknowledged all of this. Like they definitely didn't.
So but like, do you think there's any advantages to being more unofficial and everything as opposed to like, because there's like an official business Discord and everything for UCF, isn't there?
I doubt it.
Okay.
No.
So technically, by default, you kind of, even though you're unofficial, you're kind of.
She's like the monopoly.
We're
basically.
the most official of the unofficials, I'd say.
Right.
Like we don't like shut down our server every semester like the freaking GroupMe's do. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
GroupMe's are the most annoying thing, but like it's definitely impressive of how many people you guys manage. Like I've seen you guys doing it from the very beginning, and like how much it grew. I mean, like we could take a look right here. Like I'm probably not gonna screen share, but like we got basically all of these first stop, read me first, like all the announcement rules. We got VR chat rooms, homework groups 1, 2, like study calls, off topics, extracurricular hangout calls, what like any help or suggestions.
You want to know how many channels we have?
I can't list them off, but like
I kind of forgot. Wait, take a guess. Take a guess how many channels there are.
I
24.
would want to. Yeah, I kind of wanted to
24?
go in that
I don't know.
mid range of like in the
Way,
20s.
way, way higher.
Way
We
higher.
have every single college of business class,
Wow. So.
and every class chat has two
Like 25?
chats. Huh?
Like 25 channels?
No, way more. Dude, she said way more, so
26.
it's probably double or triple. It's probably like 60 something.
I wish you
Um,
had said
Am I
27.
You guys aren't
closer?
I
even
wish you had
close,
said
I'll just tell
27.
you.
All right,
I'll
triple
just-
digits.
There's 239 channels in this server.
Fucking Christ.
Fucking shit.
Nowhere near close, man. Like
should've said
I was so
240.
bad at like
Because there's
those games.
if I counted right, there's 72 College of Business classes that we have on the server.
And you probably have
those-
subdivisions with those.
We don't have any. We have like minimal electives. We introduced electives as they became needed in the server. Originally, we didn't offer it.
Yeah.
And we don't have any like AA classes or anything. It's
Yeah.
only like your College of Business, your pre-business, and then like we have each of the majors, like main classes. We don't really
Yeah.
have restricted electives or business electives. We have some here and there as people like requested them because the limit for channels on Discord is 500. Why I know that, you probably know, because I have 239 channels. I had to
Yeah.
make sure I wasn't hitting that limit.
It's actually hilarious of how like UCF students actually create more resources to help new students or students right now than UCF ever does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
sad, to be honest. Like a freaking like an actual college that has like so much money to throw out to actually help students, but nah, they just want to build more buildings and
That's why it's college.
basically just focus on
Do you
their
want to
sports
guess how many
teams.
roles there are?
I can't even like imagine right now because I
64.
So I'll give you a hint.
stopped 64. If it's
There is one role per class, and I said there was somewhere around like 70 some classes. So that's a starter. You got to add in all of like the
yeah,
fun roles, all of the
100.
moderator roles.
35.
I said there were
God.
70 some classes,
All right, I'm
and
trying
there's a
here.
role per class. So you're already like way off.
No, I like because I was gonna say 70, and then you were like take into like addition like other shit, and then I was like, there's got to be a like, because even like 200 and like 30, because 239 like channels, right?
Channels. There's going to be less roles than that.
Okay.
Because we have 2 channels per one class,
Yeah.
but there's only 1 role per one class, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So how about 80? Let's do that.
It's a fair guess. We have 142 roles.
I was so close. Why did you make me feel like I was so far off?
You said 30.
No, I said 135.
Oh! I heard 30. I'm like,
No, I said 135.
No, dang. I'm sorry. I thought I heard you say 30. Period.
And here I thought the audio was getting better. Goddamn.
so
The nerve.
so like quick question, like
Ah.
I mean like you and a few other people started this Discord, like like
Yeah.
what came around to the idea of like trying to like from where this started to where it is now, like what, like how,
This is a
like
great story.
yeah, like
Okay.
I would love to hear the
Yeah.
idea behind this.
Yeah, so I started going to UCF last summer, was my first semester. And I was only in 2 classes. GEB is one of them for people who know what GEB is.
A waste of time.
I mean it's kind of a waste of time. In my opinion, it has helped me a lot. Like if you actually do the assignments and you put in like time and effort, it's great. But your first
Right.
semester there doing that class, it just feels
Right.
like a bunch of busy work. And then I was also taking the Weed Out accounting course my first semester.
Okay.
They have weed out classes in the College of Business. It's definitely the accounting
So you have
class.
to do like accounting stuff like a little bit, or is it just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have
Yeah.
to do
It's not terrible. I'm retaking it, so
Right.
you have to
Okay.
do
I got it
financial and managerial, right?
yeah, you have to take managerial accounting, or if you're an accounting major, I don't know what it's called, but it's like ACG 3131 if you're an accounting major, or if you're a finance major.
That's
then
after
you
that's
specific
after
accounting.
managerial, I'm pretty sure.
No.
Is
It's
it not?
one or the other.
I don't know. I took both financial and managerial, but I knew there
Oh,
was another one after.
wait. Yeah, those are like the 2000 level classes. Never mind. Yeah, you
Yeah,
have to
no,
take
but but
financial and managerial accounting, and then because those are
that's
your
the
pre-business, and then
and
your
Right. Okay.
what's it called?
I
Pre-major, secondary. I think it's your pre-major. I guess still you take accounting for decision makers, or you take this other class if you're like an accounting major. It's one or the other.
I think I'm taking that this summer.
Good
Um,
luck.
yeah, I've heard a lot of that and finance
But
and a few
we got
other
a new
ones.
professor, and he might be making new like tutorial videos, so hopefully it gets a little bit better. And I think he's going to be making his own exams because he got
Okay.
replaced so fast. He kind of still has all the old professors' videos and all the old professors' homework, all the old professors. The syllabus, the exams are all the
Yeah.
same as when I took it last semester. I didn't
Yeah.
even fail it. I just didn't get a high enough grade to get into like finance major. So I'm
Okay.
retaking it, and
It has to
thankfully
be
this
a
time I
B, I
have an
think,
A.
right?
Huh?
Yeah, it has to be a B at the lowest or whatever, right?
It depends on what major. So originally I was management, so I was just shooting for a C. I'm like, I only need a C, who cares? So I got a
Yeah.
C, but then I changed to finance. And now
Oof.
you need a B in that class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same with, I think, economics needs to get a B in that class. I could be mistaken about that. What I
It's
didn't know is the other accounting class that accounting majors have to take, ACG 3131. If you're a finance major, 2 of the 3 minors you can take, I guess there's technically 4 minors. 2 of the 4 minors that you can take require that accounting class.
Okay.
So now I'm like almost done with this class for the second time. I finally got my A,
Oh wow.
and
Yeah.
I'm realizing I kind of should have taken the other one, but oh well.
Yeah, that
life
is
happens.
some shit. Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
only do you do all this too, but you also stream from time to time. Like yeah, I know, and you
Yeah.
have your job at which bank you said again?
Chase. Yeah.
Chase. Yeah, like I need a credit card. Can you actually help me get one from Chase Bank?
They're pretty easy to
Yeah.
get. I think you can just get one online, to be honest.
So with
Even my own bank at TD won't let me get one.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should really start with like Discover credit card because
Eh,
they approve anyone. Like on my 18th birthday, well, maybe it was my 18th birthday, I don't really remember at this point. I immediately wanted to get a credit card. I applied at my bank, which was SunTrust, now called Truist.
Yeah.
And they denied me because I had no credit history. And I'm like,
I know
well,
that's like the
duh.
worst thing. It's like,
Yeah.
like I get denied at these places. I'm like, how am I supposed to build credit if you don't approve me?
Yeah.
I can't
Like that's
even
why I
get
was trying to tell
started
my
without
dad.
you
I'm like,
guys.
dude, like I was like telling my dad when I was turning 18. I'm like, Dad, at least let me co-sign or something like that. He's like, nah,
My
I don't
parents
want
didn't
you having
know
a
how
credit
to.
card. Like you don't know. I'm like, Dad, I understand. Like I need to build credit. Now I'm like freaking
Right.
20 something. I'm like, I still have no credit. I'm like Jesus.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Seriously, get the Discover card.
I know.
Discover it credit card. Like it
Yeah.
approves everyone. I just got my my limit raised, and I think I'm gonna shoot for like an Amazon credit card just so I can have like a higher credit limit because that helps your overall credit score. There's like
Okay.
multiple factors. I don't know if you guys know this, but like your history, so how long you've had a line of credit, your credit limit, so how much credit you have, um, do you pay on time, and I think a couple other factors are influenced. Oh, your utilization rate. All that influences your credit, and you can get a pretty high credit score as long as you stay like very on the line. Like since I've had a credit card, I think after I had a credit card for a year, I had like a credit score of like 720, which I think is pretty impressive considering I had 1 year of credit history. I don't think a
Yeah,
lot of
720 is pretty
It's
impressive for
definitely,
one
yeah.
year.
that's like a
I get
green for most companies, and
the
like
biggest thing I've always been taught is like don't spend like on your credit. Like if you're spending anything on your credit card, don't spend any more than you like have in your bank. Like
yeah,
that's like kind of like the bottom line
yeah,
rule.
that
I've
is number
always
one
like
rule.
yeah,
Right.
I
like that's always
can't like mentally grasp anyone spending money on their credit card that they don't have. Like I don't see a credit card as like a way where I'm gonna spend money that I don't have. I just
Yeah.
look at a credit card as like, okay, I need a good credit score so I can get like good loans in the future when I need it for like a house and a car,
Yeah, like, all
whatever.
that kind of stuff, or just like anything else like
all
down the road.
the
If you want to like start your own
responsible
business.
adult
Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
yeah.
But yeah,
Maybe
not
PC in there too later on.
But even
but
so,
not
like you've like you started streaming a bit. That's how I kind of got more introduced to you. Like Christian showed me you streaming. I think you were actually streaming Sims at the time. That's how I found out about you and like Discords and everything. But like you stream from time to time and everything. What really got you into more streaming and like that line?
I forget. Did you do it before going to college, or did you like kind of like start up kind of like
I did
as?
start it before college. Sorry, what else were you
Okay.
gonna say? Well, I started before UCF. I like shortly before I started UCF. So I moved from like Tampa area, in that area, all the way to Orlando, beginning of last year, around like April, because I lost my job.
Okay.
And I originally got furloughed. I was actually gonna quit. I had just given them my 2 weeks notice. It was like impeccable timing. I gave them my 2 weeks notice. I was gonna move away in 2 weeks, or I think it was like at the end of the month. I was gonna move away. Must have been like the end of March. Must have been.
Right.
And
So this was like height of COVID and everything, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So they furloughed me, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I'll take unemployment. And my manager was like, yeah. I mean, I guess because I think I was about to give them my 2 weeks notice. I don't think I had officially given it to them. But I was very, very tight with the people that I worked with, so they knew like my timeline when I was gonna leave. I figured if I wasn't going to quit, I was at least going to try to transfer, which was something I was trying to do.
At
but
what job was
COVID
this?
kind of got in the way.
What job was this for again?
Men's Warehouse. I was like a sales rep there.
Ooh.
Made pretty good money there, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I can imagine you make a lot of money there. I've shopped from Men's Warehouse from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love
I
going there.
really liked working there. So far, that has been my favorite job out of the 3 jobs that I've worked.
Okay.
Just because it was like a really tight crew. I got along with everyone.
Yeah.
There wasn't really any drama. Everyone was very responsible, which I really like working with responsible people because, you know, then I'm not working like everyone's shifts, you know, just because I would like the only.
Oh my God, I could just
Yeah,
tell
I
you
know
that
you
this
can
week I
relate to
basically.
that, Christian.
Yeah, I just had to work overtime this week just because of and
Yeah,
literally like I probably could have gotten out of work 20 minutes earlier today if 2 of my coworkers didn't spend the time just stealing my phone and Snapchatting like all the people in my Snapchat history and just being like kind of like digging around. I was like,
so
this
definitely
is not
like,
worth it.
if you like wind up working at a place where everyone is like responsible and you guys respect each other a lot, like I don't know. I had a really hard time leaving that store, but I knew I had to for UCF because I
100%.
thought school was gonna be on like in person. So I was like ready for summer semester to be in person. I was originally gonna start in spring, but I didn't submit my application soon enough because it was like very spontaneous. It was like Christmas week. I decided I was going to UCF. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna change my major from sign language. I was like literally a year away from getting my degree in sign language. I'm like, I'm gonna change that and go to UCF for a business major.
Yeah.
What a change.
Yeah, and like I thought I was gonna get in within like 2 weeks because, you know. What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, streaming. That's where this all started.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. we all like as long as we get back to track, we're all good.
We're all here for the conversations.
But when I moved in with my boyfriend in Orlando, who I still live with, and I was just, you know, I had all this free time. I was in between semesters. It was after spring semester ended and before summer semester started. And summer semester, I was taking like the latest term that you could start summer. So it was like in July. So I had like the whole month of May and the whole month of June to do whatever I wanted. And actually, I recently discovered, was it April 18th? I'm very close to my 1-year anniversary of streaming.
Oh,
I don't know the exact date, unfortunately. I could probably look back at my followers and be like, oh, my boyfriend followed me on this day. I must have started then.
Yeah.
But I got the inspiration for it because I was like, wow, I have never like not had a job. I've had a job since I was in the 8th grade, and I turned 14 years old. I immediately applied to be a bagger at Publix.
Okay.
And I started working there like ASAP.
The Publix days.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
I
enjoy
have
it.
had a job literally my entire life. And here I am, I guess I was 19 years old. And I was like, wow, no job, no school. Like, what am I gonna do with myself? And there's only so much you can do as far as like self-improvement without like actually taking action. Like mental self-improvement I was doing, and like physical
Yeah.
self-improvement, I guess I was doing a little bit here and there, and not like I
I
was
know
cooking
you said
for
you were hitting the
myself.
gym, before
Yeah.
and just
I was-
flexing on everyone. But yes, continue.
But I kind of like looked back and I was like, well, what do I want to do with all this free time? Like, I don't know when I'm gonna get a job next. Like, this was peak COVID. Like,
Right.
no one was on the road. Like, masks everywhere. I mean, masks are still everywhere, but like, no one was driving. Like, that's how peak COVID this was. Like, no one was leaving their house.
Yeah.
And I kind of like thought about like things I have always been putting off, and I have literally always wanted to kind of have like my own self-brand image, if that's kind
For
of like
sure,
cheesy.
yeah.
But
No.
like I always wanted to start a YouTube channel. I didn't even know what about. I always wanted to like do something like that, and my boyfriend is much more of a gamer than I am, and he was like, "Why don't you go on Twitch?" And I didn't really ever watch anyone on Twitch prior to me streaming.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I
Kind of
feel
like
about
iffy about it.
I was
Yeah.
like, I want like YouTube, like highly edited videos where I can like cut out all my mistakes, and like I'm
For
gonna be
sure,
live
yeah.
for like 3 whole hours. And I was like, I don't really have a mic. This is actually his mic that he had when he made an unofficial podcast.
Yeah,
Funny enough.
legit. That's
So
like the mic I need to get and everything. Because I was like trying to think of like what the fuck
she
it,
looks
it
more
actually
official than we do,
was.
to be honest.
Honestly, like
Did you get like a lot of your equipment from your boyfriend, or like did you like kind of like sort of just like went off like on your own? Like, cause I
Um,
mean, like you got a gaming chair, like you got your microphone, and I've seen your Twitch before. Like you've got like a lot, like you have your own brand basically all set up and everything pretty nice. Like you started
yeah.
like pretty
Yeah.
officially. Like did you like do all that yourself, or like a little bit of both, or like had an outside source?
He helped me a lot, especially in the beginning, because obviously I didn't have a job and I was living off of unemployment, which gives you significantly less than I was being paid at Men's Warehouse at the time. Because I was
Yeah.
working like almost 40 hours a week at Men's Warehouse, and now I'm
Yeah.
going to like they give you just enough to get by. So I was like, oh, like how am I gonna stream though? Like I have a camera, it's like a camcorder camera, but I didn't have the equipment to properly plug it in. And actually, when I first started streaming, I was streaming on my boyfriend's PC because I didn't even have my own PC.
Yeah.
My anniversary for my PC still hasn't passed.
Okay.
Oh,
Actually,
me than mine. I
Same.
got my nice little baby over here in November
yeah.
Mhm.
because I
But he
she
got me this chair the Christmas before I started streaming. And then he's loaned me this mic because he literally doesn't even need it. He was making like podcasts in college and then he just did it kind of for fun. He never really uploaded anything. So he's like, sure, you can have it. And he just kind of like dropped it because he doesn't really hang out with those people anymore because they live back in our hometown and we live over here.
For sure.
And then
Yeah.
this camera was a camera that his father gave him in like 2011.
Oh wow.
It's like a 720p, I want to say, a 240p. Oh my god, I don't know. I'm
it
like,
doesn't look bad at all though
I
either.
It
know, I'm like
doesn't actually.
shocked by the quality though. It seems to work. And honestly, I've gotten to the point where I should really just like use my camcorder and get like a cam link and plug it in. I literally have everything. And I've tried to record with that camcorder. It's so frustrating. I've tried
Oh,
to
I
record
bet.
with it, but every time somehow something gets messed up. So,
So I mean, like,
I
yeah, I mean, sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, I just like now I know what I need to like make that setup work. It's just not really worth it at the time because I need to get a cam link, which is like $100, $120. I don't feel like buying that
Right.
because the camera runs out of battery super fast. Like if I were to stream for 3 hours, it's gonna die way before the 3 hours is up.
Yeah.
I mean, you yourself, you keep yourself very busy. You're very proactive. Like, you have like a
Mhm.
strict schedule with everything like that. Like with this time, has it like really like? I mean, obviously it's affected you streaming, but is like your motivation to stream, like, is that like altered anymore? Because I know you've had to stream less for
Yeah.
school, for the Discord, for your new job and everything
For
like
like the
that. Has
past
that really?
3 months. Yeah. Like.
Yeah, like it's like I know you try to stream
Yeah.
from time to time, but like has it basically be like I kind of want to put this off to the side, or I'm like, no, I really want to do this. I want to try to make as much time as I can with the time that I have right now.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, since getting my new job at the beginning of this year and then starting school, and then I moved into a rental house, like literally all within a couple of months, if not all, like within 4 weeks.
Right.
So it definitely was crazy. And the end of last semester, around exam time, or maybe it was like fall break, like Thanksgiving week, that's like definitely when my motivation was kind of fizzling just because I love the community I have on Twitch and I
Yeah.
really do miss them when I don't stream, but I also was
'Cause
experiencing a lack of motivation just because I wasn't growing like I used to.
right, and you were streaming like Sims and like Minecraft, right?
Yeah, those are
Yeah.
my two main ones, and I had like a bunch of like miscellaneous ones that I would stream from time to time, and like
Okay.
interactive ones with like the chat and everything. But and it happens to every streamer too at some point or another, is where you just kind of like you kind of coast for a while, and if you
Yeah.
can get through the coast, you're usually fine.
Well,
But
it's
99% of people can't get through the coast, and they kind of lose motivation, which is sort of what happened to me, along with getting busy and then just
yeah.
using that as an excuse to put everything off.
Yeah, and also it's you really, and I don't even think it's like a coast. I think it's essentially people stream, they want to grow their audiences. They don't necessarily they do the other shit that they want and everything, but they don't also really have like I think to even do something like that. And I say this like and having no planning skills really to an extent that I've had to really like kind of like get a little bit better with as like I've started doing the podcast. Like even the other day, I literally like shot Christian over like a whole Google Doc. Is like, hey, this is what the future looks like, and
Yeah.
everything. What do you think? And like starting to do that, and but even when it comes to like building your own brand, you have to kind of like think about what you want, and then really like projecting that. It's kind of like how I really want to do certain things, and like one of the things I struggle with, and I coast off of, is especially on Discord, which is like I was like, "Hey Sim, you got me on like the building," and then it was like I didn't do anything with it for the most part. Like there's some things that come up and everything, but like even like having to utilize that, like you have to really like it's not something that is just like you turn on a cam and then everyone just like always will flock and
Yeah.
everything. You kind of just have to keep really going, and it really is much more like because even in business and everything, you're learning all the classes like the actual application of actual business like shit, but there's so much of a like social element to everything else, and like
Hmm.
collaborating with like other content creators and like shit like that,
Yeah.
other gamers, if you actually want to go into esports or you just want to make like that kind of content, like so on and so forth. And it could be like, and you have to really sort that out, and you can always change it at any time, but like you're having to manage like all these properties, and if you're trying to do YouTube and everything, and just like even trying to find the consistency within everything. And of course, like the fact of the matter is it's not like you can do this shit full time. Like it's not like you get to just sit down. It's like, well, you know what, I got like the Twitch stream, I got like the YouTube like being uploaded, like
Yeah.
all that kind of shit. And that's like the difficult thing about it. And I think the one thing that you have to kind of like, and something where it's like I still have to do this, like I have to learn to take my own advice as I'm learning, even from like I went into like a
Yeah.
Legends of Runeterra tournament this weekend, and like I was good. I was like all hot shit 2-0 to start, and then like I misplayed and then just went downhill, and it was like the
Oh
fuck
no,
of my
wait,
life.
wait, how did you end up doing on that?
I scrubbed out. I scrubbed the fuck out. But it was like it was a humbling experience, but like it
Mhm.
was also like I was like it's progress, because like I do need to develop more tournament consistency, because like I'm sure even Christian could say the same thing. The ladder of any game that you try to go with competitively is going to be different from how the tournaments will go. You know?
100%.
110%. So like what I've been able to do is I've been able to get really high ranks in like ladder and everything. Like I've cracked top 100 in the game. Like I've hit the highest rank like 3 seasons in a row. I've done all that stuff, and it's fucking incredible. Like it's nothing to like slouch at. And I'm going to make the next seasonal tournament, which is big. But the thing is, like, especially when it comes to tournaments, that's going to be the stuff that actually will make you a pro. And like, I have to
Mm.
actually learn, like, because I don't have to just like, it's like a card game, and like usually you would think you just have to like learn like one deck or anything or some shit like that, but you have to learn three. And like your opponent bans one, and then you have to be good with like a lot of other shit. You have to be able to figure that out and plan it and organize it, much like you would do even for stuff with like streaming. And I think even Christian mentioned this too, because like we're like having to go over overlays and do all this shit and everything.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able. I haven't said this to him, so he's going to be unaware. But you're never going to be able to avoid a fucking loss when it comes to anything. Like, it will happen inevitably, whether like you put money into it or you don't. And you just have to keep putting yourself out there and like kind of experimenting and figuring out other shit and just continuing to collab, because it's all like, it really is all a fucking journey. Like, even if you think you're hot shit and everything, there'll always be something to humble you, and you have to kind of, even if you're like coasting or you're kind of like plateauing per se, like you just you keep going, keep putting yourself out there into the communities that you want and exploring. You definitely don't stop exploring and like figure out if you also want to do other content shit. Like, I was like, I want to do a podcast. Who's the best person to do a podcast with? And I was like, Christian, because like he's absolutely like, he's a very good co-host, and so is his dog.
Aww.
I'm really looking forward to your cat like walking the fuck back in.
I know the door's cracked, so whenever she wants to, she will.
What's your cat's name?
Huh?
What's your cat's name?
Oofy. Yeah. Like oof.
Matthew, I was gonna say, just get more consistency in your card games. Just pull out Blue Eyes White Dragon. You'll win every game.
I keep trying to do that and it won't let me, and I'm so furious. That's why I keep losing.
Dang.
Yeah, I myself personally like cannot get to the consistency to ever want to have the motivation to kind of like go to tournament level in a lot of games, because that is just a whole, especially for any FPS game, which is what I basically only play as Sims. Like I was like even before this I was like trying to list off all the games I have. I'm like, damn, they're all FPSs.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else. That kind of commitment for especially those type of games is just unreal. Like like for the people who can do it, I commend them, but like it's just like I have a lot of more things in my life that I need to worry about rather than just be the top 1% in an FPS shooter game, and I'd rather just be where I'm at and be a little, slightly above average and just go around like playing the way I do, just make, like comedy, like, just go off of my personality more than my gameplay, and just like have fun doing that rather than just like grind the ever living shit out of the most OP weapons that everybody consistently use. It's just super fucking boring.
It's just
like I can't because like for people who want to be like competitive, you have to use the best stuff. You have to like, plan out your strategy and everything before that. And I don't care.
Yeah. And
like I enjoy watching it for sure, but like I just like I could be at that level. It's just I don't care enough.
Right. And like the thing is too,
I just want to be like, a champion of esports at Sims though, apparently, because apparently that would be like
and even like the thing is too, you could be competitive casual as well. Like you could also like, even if you decide to grow your brand and like someone invites you to Twitch Rivals for like whatever, and you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'll do it. Just to play with other people. You can always decide to do that. There's like, at any point you can decide, even if like, because I fully believe if Christian were able to do this shit full time, I feel like he would actually be able to make that shit. Don't
dude, Piper yeah, I would literally be I'd be in a tournament and then Piper would flip her shit and then I just couldn't hear a thing, and I'm like, god damn it, Piper, Jesus fucking Christ, shut but, yeah, I mean, it's just another one of those things too, when, even before this, Sim and I were talking about another factor that blows into it is like we've talked multiple times, is that gaming in general it just feels like it's at a stalemate, where it's just like where you're not even really gaming to game. You're just like, because you literally have nothing else to do.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
And it's just like,
well,
like it's just more in the line of just like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I have friends to play with from time to time. It's always fun to play with them, but like if anything in the competitive field, it really feels like the motivation is just not where it used to be.
Yeah, well, I mean, like LANs are starting to come back, and that's more like, I feel like even the more motivation for that is pandemic and everything. But the one thing that I think even, because like I say a bunch of this shit, and I don't know if I sound very optimistic with some shit, but even more in the practicality sense, like a lot of events, like when the pandemic happened, they just stopped happening. Like even before that, I went to California for like Magic and everything like that. I went to like Anaheim, I went to DreamHack. It was like a lot of fun, and then a month later, everything shut the fuck down. Like this was when like California wasn't like totally on fucking fire, and like all like a bunch of bad shit was happening. And you know, the thing is too, like it's always like a time. It's like if nothing's happening, you have all that time to build up and like whatever it is that you want to do, because like the second that anything comes back and everything, you'll be able to do that shit. I'm really just looking to see where Christian's
Christian
like
walking off camera. We can't see him on his phone.
Christian just got Snapchatted nudes, and he's just like, I can't be pulling up the nudes on stream.
I ran over my dog's
recording.
bone. I was trying to like casually like go away and like grab my phone since it's been charging, and then I ran over my dog's bone, and then I was just like, well, she's she doesn't deserve it right now.
Yeah.
And like I'm just realizing I have so much crap in my room, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
I literally have my airsoft gun taken apart because some fucking drunken 18-year-old jackass, after I told him not to mess with it. I'm like, dude, don't mess with it. It's $1,000 gun. You can look at it, but like just keep it upstairs. Don't bring it downstairs with everyone else because it looks realistic. It's gonna freak people out. And to be honest, if we ever got cops ever came over or anything like that from a noise complaint, you'll get fucking shot like in a heartbeat. And he goes down. He's messing with the gun, and then I look over, and I'm like, something's broken off of it, and I'm like, what the hell happened? And lo and behold, he breaks the computer off of it, and I'm like super pissed off.
Yeah.
And I go and tell his buddy about it, and then his buddy went and tell him, oh, you broke the gun. He's like, oh, how'd I break it? You broke the computer off the wires.
Yeah.
And he's blacked out drunk. He's like, oh shit. How much is it to fix? I'm like, more than you can afford.
Oh my god.
You should have still sent him the bill.
Wow.
Be like, this is how much your mistakes cost.
He's 18. He's in the military. I probably has to be on a freaking loan for the rest of his life.
You'd be surprised. Military, like, just because they have like a lot of like they don't have to pay rent. I mean, I don't think. I guess it depends on where. If they're living on base, they live basically rent-free. And I had a friend who joined the military at 17, and when she came back, here comes the devil. There's Oofy. Hi, baby. When she came back, she could literally blow like as much money as she wanted because she wasn't paying rent, and I'm pretty sure she was being fed. She didn't have to pay for anything. She was just making money, and it was just going straight into the bank account. She was 18. She had like thousands of dollars. I was like, dang, girl.
I mean, I was just more pissed off, and like this is like one of my biggest pet peeves is like I literally told you not to mess with something, and you go ahead and do.
I know you touched my airsoft gun.
Personal property.
I'm like, dude, this like because I was messing with it a little bit earlier because I just like got it like I kind of just fixed it up a little bit, and then I was kind of like messing around with it. So then they saw it, they're like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, dude, this is literally over $1,000.
Of course it's cool, because it's expensive.
Well, I mean, I bought it from a friend of mine. And I bought it for half the price. I mean, like, look at this. Like, like if I didn't have the sock on and everything, like, this looks like, you know, pretty realistic.
It does,
like,
yeah.
Like, you're supposed to have an orange tip and everything like that, but I want a silencer, so... whatever. So this
by the way, that's an airsoft gun, YouTube. Don't demonetize us yet, even though we're not close to that, but still.
Yeah, if you want to. I mean, like, come after me, YouTube. But this is where the computer was, and he ripped the wires from it. And this dude's like, oh, can you solder it? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna buy, like, a specific soldering kit to, like, fix it. Like, no. Like, I hate dealing with just stupid. What am I running over? Oh, freaking pipe pissing on my blanket and shit. Like, like, yeah, you heard a squeak. I know. I'm running over everything.
Just your movements, your whole movement and everything. This is great.
I know.
You're a
But
real
like, yeah, my biggest
comedian.
pet peeve, because like I have a lot of like I like the stuff that I have. Like I have like my surfboards, my guitars, like a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
like other expensive stuff, and it's just like don't mess with it. And people
Yeah.
sometimes just like do what I don't like tell them to do, and then it's just like, lo and behold, he
Especially with
breaks
your
it.
own roof, like.
Like it because of the, I mean, the worst part of it is because obviously from another podcast, I live in a fraternity house, so like people get drunk, and lo and behold, they don't listen, when they're drunk. So
They don't fucking listen. Why don't you fucking listen to me?
my Italian is coming out. Thank God they don't ever go near my PC or anything like that. I mean, like I'll show it off or whatever if they want to see it. I'm actually thinking about getting a VR headset. I know Matthew. I know we talked about it, but
Yeah.
it's looking kind of nice to buy. It's a really bad purchase, but
Well, why do you want to buy it, Christian?
No.
You were just like, GG, stop it, Matt.
GG's. I just want to swing around like Spider-Man in those VR games.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I just have I have a small list of rules. I would say like I'm pretty lenient on a lot of things, and then if I tell you not to do something and you do it,
He lays
really gonna
down the
piss me
law.
off.
Yeah.
I gotta, I just gotta put, I just gotta pull my dick out on the table and just lay down the law, because
Yeah.
that's what you gotta
The
do.
long dick of the law, essentially.
Long dick of the law.
Super bad.
Super bad.
Yeah.
I should actually get I just realized my freaking golf clubs are downstairs too from our golf simulator. That's another thing that I don't want people touching. Like,
If you don't run down there and find them all like bent in half.
listen, if
Course.
my woods, my actual woods, like clubs that are like really expensive, tailor made like clubs,
Yeah.
get freaking broken, I will throw a huge fit.
Yeah, understandably. I
One,
can't stand people who are messing around with other people's personal property. Like, I'm sorry.
Was that yours?
Who gave you permission?
Was that fucking
the worst
yours?
thing too about it is that they try to play it off like it's like
Yeah.
not that big a deal. Like it's like, oh man, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It just
There's like,
happened. I'm like,
yeah.
It's like, you knew what you were doing, motherfucker.
It's pretty much like, listen, it's not that big of a deal because this isn't mine and it's not a big deal to me. So obviously, overall, it doesn't have to be a big deal in general to you. What logic, am I right?
either stealing my stuff or like, like if you ask permission, like, or if all this stuff, that's one thing. But if you do it without my permission, then because I used to have that problem when I lived downstairs, is that I had the nice stuff. I had like speakers, like I had other stuff, like even one thing of like going in my room to get a deck of cards to like play like drinking games. It's like they go in my room and just grab them and other shit. I'm just like, get out. Like when I'm at work or I'm like, somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, ugh.
Yeah.
But
As far as like, the college community, like I've heard so many people who like room with other college students, and I can't believe the audacity of the people they get like roommated with. Like I guess I haven't really understood the struggle because I lived with my parents, and when I moved out of my parents, I lived with my boyfriend alone. So
yeah,
I never really like understood the struggle. Like I thought all that stuff was just like on TV shows and maybe in like really trashy like areas, but no, like that happens in like my own friend's apartment. Like, oh, I can't believe the audacity. I don't remember who I was talking to, but I was talking to someone in the business server, and they were talking about how someone had bought a game on their Xbox with their own money while he wasn't even around, and they were just using it without his permission.
Nice.
With their friends that he doesn't even know, and just bought a game with his roommate's money that he never even asked for.
Did he even
bad.
like offer to? Did he even say he was gonna reimburse or anything, or
As
just?
far as I know, no.
Oh wow,
I would
that's
have demanded it immediately. I'm like, dude, you bought a
Yeah.
game off of my own, like, credit card and everything. You didn't even
I
ask.
can't
Like,
even believe someone like having the audacity to come in with friends of yours, not include me whatsoever, and then go and use my gaming console. Like,
yeah.
right. Or even
It's funny though because I found out that like you can put passwords on your gaming console
he
before you
did
sign
that.
in. Yeah, no, I fully agree now to do that. I thought it was hilarious, but now I'm just like, you know what? Probably not a bad idea if I ever had that situation. But like, I don't know. Like, I feel like for me, I've like when I went to UCF and I was moving into a dorm, I had a lot of random roommates, and I've always gotten pretty lucky. There's only 2 times that I had I one wasn't too bad. He was just really annoying because one time, like when I lived in Towers, he would have an alarm go off at like 5 or 6 in the morning and would not turn it off for like an hour every morning. And I'm like, for an
Where do you
hour
have to be
straight.
so early?
I
bet your
do not know.
ass they were like, I'm gonna be motivated. I'm gonna get up like 5, 6 a.m., work out, do all this shit and everything. It's gonna be great. And then legit,
No,
like,
I really think what it was is that like I think he like because he was really I think it was a Muslim guy that had to like pray or something like that every
okay.
morning or something like that. But like his alarm would be off for like an hour, and I'm like, dude, I'm trying to sleep. I can hear that. Please just shut it off. And that was the worst I would say I'd have to deal with him. But like the other guy, I like when I lived into the UCF apartment, the one brother, I just could not fucking stand because so like he basically doesn't pay for shit. His mom like basically pays everything for him and everything like that. So
Spoiled brat.
he didn't understand the concept of like basically saving money for electricity and water, like not like waste like so
I
much
can't
shit.
believe parents
Like
who like let their kids do that.
I kid you not. I almost every morning I had to yell at him at one point because every morning I'd wake up freezing cold and I go and look at the like thermostat and it's set to 66 degrees.
Uh,
And I go and I look
I'm
at him, I'm like,
sorry. Are you paying the majority of that electricity?
that is literally that like I knew it and that's exactly why I did not want my name on the electricity bill
Yeah.
at all. And I'm just sitting there like, dude, what the fuck? And I used to work at Sig and Shake, so I used to get home really, really late. And
Yeah.
I go home and literally every light in the apartment is on and he's just sitting in his room, like just playing games. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
And like this guy, like he's no longer affiliated with us or anything. Like we're not friends with him because he was a freaking idiot. But like
Mhm.
he kept the place trashed. He like would just turn down the thermostat to like ridiculous and I mean ridiculous levels and just did not do anything. I would try to clean the apartment. He never cleaned. He just always complained a lot. And one day I was actually super fishy because I he we would Venmo each other the bill or whatever for the electricity and water. And mine was always consistent with water. Like it's about maybe I would say like $25 a person, like $50 $50
Mhm.
a month.
Right.
And I told him like, listen, electricity should be either 100 or less. Like that's where the consistency should be. And I Venmoed him 1 month, and the next month it was double. Like it was double that, and I'm like,
Wow.
I I could not tell you. And he goes and he Venmo requests me like casually, like he's just like, oh, here's the bill for the month. I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, there's no way this is even remotely close. And he's like,
Yeah.
yep, that's what it is. And I'm like sitting there like, dude, you have to show me the bill. Like, there's no way. Like, I just gave you money. This is literally double of like what we paid last month. And then he started accusing me of thinking that I'm like accusing him of like charging me more than what it is, all because I asked to see the bill.
Right, which you have the right to do.
So
yeah,
immature.
which is like reasonable. And then he went on this long paragraph, just like trying to like diss me, like pissing me off. I'm like,
Oh my god,
dude,
he's your roommate. He has to live with you. Why
yeah,
would you do that?
Yeah.
this guy had so many mental issues. Like this is one day like I remember where I funny enough story. I was going to class and this guy like I guess he was having a piss day or whatever, and he grabs a entire bottle of vodka and he goes in his room and closes the door. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, that's a pretty big red flag in my head. And so I'm going to class, so I'm texting my other brothers who's Sentinel, which is supposed to be like, protecting and like, making sure everyone's okay, mentally, this, that, and the other thing. And I go and tell him like, dude, you need to go check up on like John. Like he just went to his room by himself with a bottle of vodka. I don't know if like I don't know what's going on with him. And funny enough, he's just like, I don't know, man. I'm kind of busy. Like, and then like later on, he's like, wait, is that my bottle of vodka? I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, all right, I'm going down. He's just like, he didn't go down until he realized it was his vodka. And he
so
like
selfless.
no.
Nothing like having your personal property taken to make a call to action.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's usually not like that, but like I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting in class and then he's just sending me these long paragraph messages. He's like, dude, what the fuck? Like I just wanted to have like a casual drink. I'm like, John, like nobody just grabs a entire bottle of vodka, closes the door behind them and think like, yeah, I'm just gonna casually drink this. Like it's different if it's
You,
like
leave it out.
1 or 2 beers or something like that. But
Yeah.
like knowing you, like you don't casually drink or anything like that. So it's like, what the hell? And then he's like, he changed his story of like taking a few pulls to like making mixed drinks. I'm like, which is it, John? Because those are two different things. Like, you're not doing either or. It was ridiculous, and it really got to the point. I moved upstairs. He lived the other apartment across from me. It was somebody else, thank God. But if you want to hear the worst situation, that even worse than mine, that he did with the guys downstairs that lived at the time, they all paid for one Wi-Fi, the 4 of them, in 2 separate apartments. And one of the guys, they got a bill and it was like ridiculously high. They didn't know for a couple of months that the package that he got that included cable, and he charged them for cable that they couldn't access. And we shit on him for that. And he thought there was no problem of what he did at all. And I'm like, dude, you are charging them something that they can't access. And they immediately got their own Wi-Fi like package and everything immediately after that. And then like we always like kind of made jokes about that, but then he took it so personally. I'm like, dude, we're making jokes about it. Like, you're lucky like we didn't like completely kicked you out at that point. That is like the like shittiest thing you can fucking do.
Yeah, and you know what?
Like you're literally stealing money from them.
Here's the funny thing too. It's like they try to make it a big deal, right? But it doesn't have to be a big deal. It's like, don't do this shit.
Dude, no, I mean that was a big deal.
I mean, it is a big deal, but like, it's like just don't do it again. On his, it's like on his end.
He didn't take responsibility at all.
Take responsibility, admit you did wrong, don't do it again. Like, it doesn't always have to blow up to an even bigger thing past that point, Like, it's just like, that's the one thing that infuriates me about even just more so like other shit like that, because all like shit is basic communication. Relationships, business, whatever. It really is basic communication and not having like a fucking ego and like about a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
like,
I can't stand
like, I mean, you guys probably were still like outside, like over time as like he continues to do this stupid shit. Like, it's infuriating to say the least. But he was still your brother. You didn't kick him out and everything. You wanted him to be better, but you didn't like. I didn't fully flat fuck hate him. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
if he had,
I mean, he just did a bunch of other shit, but like, he was good at times, but he would always be like, "Oh, John Moon's in his first last name, whatever." Um, he just like, "Oh, he's in his one of his phases. He's in one of his moods again." I'm like, dude, I like the guy. Like when at his best, like he's cool to hang out with, but like he always just gets in his own way. Like it's just like, and that's it, and it's not even like that. It's a lot of people I've met and had to deal with, like relationship wise, friends wise, and I just can't deal with these egos that people have, that they just can't admit when they did something wrong, and then they
Very
just get in their own
prideful.
way. Yeah, I just can't. I can't spend any more effort just like trying to, show them like, no, you're wrong for this. And if I'm wrong for something, like, you know what? Yeah, I'm wrong. Like, you know what? Like, I apologize.
Mhm.
Move on. Learn from it. Be a better person.
yeah.
But nobody ever wants to like ever take responsibility for their own actions nowadays, and it's just like I can't abide by it. I can't.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's just dumb.
Because even the situations that you described, it's like, hey, by the way, don't do that shit. Like,
Don't do
if
it
you're gonna
again.
do that shit, don't do it again. And if you do, pay up. Like, don't take personal property. Like, if you fuck it up, you're paying for it. Like, at least like try to mend the shit. You know, like that's the
Yeah.
one thing in general that even if like because like people do fuck up and everything, and even if you fuck up,
We're
as long as
human, dude. We
yeah,
fuck up all the
you
time,
are
but like,
human, and if you're trying to like mend that and everything like that, I bet your ass he would have looked like the other way. Is like at least he tried to resolve things, like even for his
yeah,
fuck ups, you know, like
that's a pretty big fuck up though. You know what
it
you're
is a
doing.
fuck up. It is a fuck up. Like it really is. And you gotta like if you're just doing that shit like intentionally, just expecting to get away with that, that's super fucked up. But and that's
Yeah,
like the
like
one thing. Like you're literally like
I told you about that story.
yeah.
I told Matthew. I definitely told you about this story where I had to pick up that one girl from downtown with like everyone
Oh
else's
my
friends.
god.
And this is a story you'll love to hear. So a girl that hangs out with us from time to time, like never had a problem with them. She was really nice and everything. And one day I get a like I had to work a double the next day, and this is like at 2 like 1 or 2 in the morning, I want to say. And they give me a call, like they couldn't Uber like or anything, it was too expensive, and they said like, hey, we really need a ride. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, I'll get you guys home safe. I do that from a lot from time to time, a little too much, but like
Nice.
so I go downtown. I go over there, and the girl that they were that we knew, like one of the brothers is literally like has her over his shoulder trying to get her in
Yeah.
the car, and she is blacked, and I mean blacked out, not just from alcohol. She definitely had something else in her system, and she was freaking out because she lost her phone in one of the clubs or whatever that they went to, and she didn't have her phone, and she got violent, super violent. Like she was hitting people, she was like going around, this, that, and the other thing. She was kicking in the inside of my car, this, that, and the other thing. They tried to give her water, and she's throwing water all over the inside of my car, all over Piper. Like I thought this was gonna be a casual drive, and Piper's sitting on my lap. He's freaking out. She threw water on the dog, everything. And I even at one point pull over on the side of the road, done with the whole situation, and I said, get her the fuck out of my car. And everyone's like, no, 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 no. I'm like, dude, this is my car. Get her the fuck. I was gonna leave her on the side of the road. I did not care at that point.
Like literally just like kick one of the other guys out too and just like Uber back home and everything like that, because like that shit is unacceptable.
Yeah, and all because she lost her phone. And like I'm not even gonna get into whole details of it. It was just a trash like of a night or
Yeah.
whatever.
Ungrateful SOB.
And
Yeah.
the next day she contacts one of the brothers, like the ones that she's really good friends with. Doesn't even apologize. The first thing she said, you should have let me went back and try to look for my phone. And I was like,
Last time you're helping her.
what? And I was super
Because
pissed.
like you were going to like pick them up and everything, and it's like if she wanted to stay for her phone, she should have just stayed for her phone.
Well, no, she was not responsible for her own act. Like she could not take care of herself at all. Meanwhile, one of her other friends that was there was trying to hit on one of the brothers. Like really great friend, by the way.
Yeah.
Didn't even care about the situation with her friend. She just like was trying to hook up with one of the brothers. It's great people.
Dick over
Or
friends.
her friend, I
Obviously.
guess, is great.
Yeah.
But I was just like the audacity, because like even like people like sometimes like try to be like, oh, like I didn't know what I did last night or whatever, this that and the other thing. Like it was like, and she tried to claim like a day or two after like that her friend told her everything that she did, and she was like super sorry. I didn't get no apology maybe a week and a half after in person, and I'm just like, I'm like, well, and she tried to claim like, oh, I didn't have your number, I didn't have your snap or anything like that. I'm like, you know where I'm at. You needed to apologize to me immediately.
Right.
And like still like she was super apologetic. I mean, like I guess we're kind of cool now, but like I like, but I was just like I cannot imagine myself in that situation and doing all of that and like even think remotely that like I was in the right in any of that situation, any of it. And the fact that like even she, like I've seen like multiple instances of this from other people, and it just shocks me the amount of like ego and like
who raised you? Has
I
no one put you in your place yet?
Who raised you to be such a shitty drunk? God
God.
damn it.
God damn it.
You think by like 14 you would have been handling your alcohol like a fucking champ, but instead you're out here doing this shit. How old was she?
Right.
I cannot wait until I have a kid and like be the first one to try to like, listen, you need to know your place in life, and you are not above everyone else.
Yeah,
So
my
you need
brothers
to,
are the ones who did that to me. My older brothers.
yeah.
I only have older brothers.
But I that like shit like that is like what reminds me day to day of like, man, like our generation and younger is just getting like worse by the year.
Yeah.
I can't believe the entitlement and ego that happens from time to time. I hate it.
Yeah, you should see the people who come by the bank.
I
Some
can't.
people have this entitlement. Like, for instance, with tax returns, stimulus checks, and all other government funding that people are getting right now, unemployment, whatnot, people are coming into the bank more often because they're cashing these checks that they're getting from the government. So the bank occasionally will run low on just large bills. It's not like we're out of money. Like, we can just give you this money in like 50s and 20s. And the entitlement these people have, they're like, well, it's my money and I want it how I want it. So no, you're going to give me hundreds. I'm like, ma'am, I literally have $300 in hundreds and you want to withdraw 1,500. It's not happening. Like, I physically cannot. I can give you my last 300s. That'll make you happy.
Well, I mean, even you said you used to work at Publix. I mean, do you even remember the entitlement that a lot of customers at Publix have?
Worked
Like,
there for 4 years. Hell yeah, I remember.
yeah, I worked there for 3.5, and that entitlement was like beyond me at that time, even for like older
Yeah,
people.
I
And
mean,
like,
for the most part, I'm sure you can tell, but I'm like a pretty nice and easygoing person.
yeah.
I was pretty young though, so I was like learning customer service skills. I didn't even learn all my customer service skills till I got to like Men's Warehouse. That's because that was more of like a
That's like
sales position where you had to like communicate with customers back and forth.
that's like a one-on-one sort of like situation rather than Publix. Like you're basically like scanning
Small
people,
talk.
like you're having small
Right.
talk, and then you're like, okay,
Yeah.
have a nice day. Hi, how are you? Like, how you doing? Like, oh, that's
And
real.
like
Oh,
any
this looks good.
issue,
Like,
yeah, any issue you have there, it's like just go grab the manager. Whereas working at Men's Warehouse, it's such a tight knit crew, and you're all very individual people there. You're not just like a shit ton of like college and high school kids who are working at Publix that none of the managers trust because you're probably going to go like dick off in the bathroom playing on your phone or whatever, you know, or like pretend to go out and get carts. That's all the managers think you're doing all the time. So you're like basically getting paid to be babysat almost, especially when you're like a minor working at Publix. At least that was my experience there.
Assistant, like I've gone through a lot of managers and assistant managers from Publix, and one of them, his name was Jamie. He was really cool. Like I was really chill with him. But yeah, no, I definitely got that like like sort of vibe from other managers where it's just like I'm working hard, but they just
and they don't trust you. Like,
yeah, they don't.
I don't understand. Like, what did I ever do that makes you not trust me? Like,
honestly, like even nowadays when I work, like that little M that you see for minor, like yeah, no, I kind of get it at times.
Yeah.
But especially by their actions more than anything.
Well,
like
you'd think after you got to work with them enough, like I would expect it if I had just started working there. But I'm 4 years in.
Yeah,
and
honestly,
they're still treating me like a child, like they don't trust me. Like, where were you? I was out getting carts. The fuck do you think I was doing outside? Like, I go out and I get carts and then I come back inside. Like,
that's literally why I put my 2 weeks in. Like I there was just no respect at like even when I transferred up to Orlando, like I worked there for like a while and it was just like still that lack of respect. And everything was just ridiculous. I tried to get up to cashier mostly because I was cross trained. So like for cross trained, for like anyone who's still listening to the podcast at this point, cross training is.
They definitely will. Like honestly, like watch we take off, and then every other like one of our like podcasts, like that's how the shit happens. Honestly.
So cross training basically, like from a bagger to cashier, at least, like you're basically working 2 jobs, but you're getting paid the lowest amount in one job.
Yeah, I had that when I was 15.
Yeah, and it sucked. And I did that for like over a year, and I was doing really good job as a cashier. But and I still kind of believe this, Publix kind of sexist. They always want female cashiers up front. That's just how it is. They want that they just want that female face up front. And it was just that, and then like what really put me over the edge one day, like one semester, I remember, like it was the weekend before finals, and I said like, hey, I can work a little bit. I can't work all too much because I want to study like as much as I can, but like just don't put me like at a 10-hour shift. They put me at 18 hours that weekend alone from closing to opening, and I'm like, okay, you really just don't respect anything that I say or do, and then my school's important, so I put my 2 weeks in. I didn't get scheduled too, and which was funny. Like this was about the time I had my nose surgery, so I took like medical leave, and because I transferred back home, but I put my 2 weeks notice in Orlando, but I figured that just would have just translated to the same thing. And I got a call a month later, and they're like, and it was like my manager at like my hometown Publix. They're like, oh, so I see, like, are you not working with us anymore or anything? Like, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, I put my 2 weeks notice in like in Orlando, and for 2 weeks I didn't get scheduled. So I was like, I guess that's it. Whatever, that's fine.
Yeah,
and they're like, no,
drop you instantly when you put in your 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then they're like, no, your paperwork is still with us. You still stay active. I'm like,
interesting.
Well, sorry. No, I'm not coming into work. Like, that's just how much respect you get, basically, for working for a company for like 3 or 4 years. Don't get me wrong, Publix is great, but like, ugh.
I think like customer service is definitely an entirely different experience, and obviously depending on the store and location you're at, like the demographic that is there, like there's definitely different teams that you work with. Like I worked as a bagger, as a cashier, and then towards the end, I was cross-trained as a stock clerk. So I was getting cashier.
I did that.
Doing all the stock work.
I did that too. That was awful. Yeah. I honestly believe.
I always liked hanging out with like the grocery crew. That's how I met my boyfriend, actually. Funny enough.
I really believe that everybody should have some sort of experience in customer service before they even like have any sort of like that will make more people humble nowadays, honestly, because that's half the time.
Food service.
That's half the time when I see someone is like closing, I don't go in the minute that they're like the second, like they're just about to close, or I don't order something off of Uber Eats too late, or like anything, like is like I work in the back of a kitchen. I've worked in customer service. Like I understand the frustration these people go through and everything like that. I don't want to put them through all
The
that.
people who come in the bank literally like the minute we close. And when you work at a bank, I don't know how it is at every other
takes me
bank.
off.
I don't know how it is at other banks, but at Chase Bank, you have to leave as a crew. So if you're on closing crew and a customer walks in to do like a transaction at the teller line, or even to use the ATM that's inside the branch, everyone has to stay. Everyone has to wait. It's for security purposes, so we can make sure we don't get like robbed when we're closing. Everyone's there. Everyone can be like alert. And there's like a whole procedure how everyone walks out and everything. So like if a customer walks in at bank closes at 5 at like 5, or if they pull through the drive-through at like say 5:01, I'm like just about to click the light off that says that we're closed, and they come in and I have to like help them. Well, now you're not only like slightly annoying me, but you're literally keeping the entire staff here late.
Yeah.
But I'm a pretty lenient person. I feel bad for doing it to my coworkers. I am not like life or death. Like, it's not going to kill me to stay a little bit late to help someone. Obviously, if they're being like an ungrateful SOB, I'm going to be a little ticked off. I'm going to be like, really? Like, you know we're closed, and then you have like this entitlement about you. Okay.
Yeah, I like, I just feel like a lot of people should like work some sort of capacity per company.
Damn it. Like, you have to work food service or like customer service retail, one or the other. You can't go anywhere in life without doing one or the other. And you can almost like tell with people who haven't worked in those areas how they've just been like handed everything in life.
Yeah.
Oh, those people.
People
and I'm not saying like obviously everyone has a different path that they walk in life, and some people start life like a little bit later than others. Some people have parent support a little bit longer than others, but someone needs to humble them.
It just depends. Like if they're just like, it's all about their personality, because people could really be like that and like legit, like some of them don't act like it at all, but if you do, that's where people, because like if really people weren't acting like that, no one would really give a fuck. But it's the fact that it's just like it comes from like a false sense of reality and perspective and everything, or you're just trying to like be shitty to someone else, which is like, that's just bad either way. Like, and the truth of the matter is, like, if like
just a lot of people are just inconsiderate.
It's just like it's all about what you decide to do. It's like the decisions that you're making and everything else. Because the truth of the matter is, again, no one would really give a fuck. There's a lot of things, again, that people would not give a fuck about, because of the fact, again, like no one was like, hey, your parents support you, but you're not a shitty person, so you're fine. Like,
one of my biggest pet peeves right now that I have with my group of friends that I have right now, like, because a lot of them don't have a job. They don't work like over 30 to 40 hours a week. Like my roommate does, so he gets it. But a lot of the other people in our group don't have a job.
Yeah, because even right now, like
so like they make plans to like do a lot of things that are like fun, and they do it last every time. So I cannot take time off of work. They're like, oh, you come in? I'm like, dude, I have a job. You have to make it ahead of time for me to take time off of work.
Yeah, and then they just leave you out.
I don't leave them out. I never leave them out on anything, but I'm guilty of doing last minute, so.
Yeah.
Like
it's bound to happen every now and then, but like
that's
people
more,
have never
that's
had a job.
Super
They like
consistent.
have no.
Yeah. It's more of me being a disorganized person than it's just like, oh, hey, Christian, you good, right?
Like even like this week of spring break, they were like, hey, let's do something this weekend. Like, let's go to Ginny Springs, like, or something like that. Let's go camping. And I love to do that. But I like to go camping, but it's hard.
Just the way you said it.
Yeah.
But like I like to do a lot of things, but like obviously I have a dog, so I can't really like go off too much because I don't have babysitter for puppy.
Aww.
And sorry, baby, but you're not fit for the wilderness. Sorry.
Yeah.
If you drop her off all the way over here, I'll take care of her. I'm probably
Uh,
like a whole 50-minute drive from you, though.
and even then, she's feisty, so I don't think A, she could be handled very well, and B, I don't know how she is with other animals. Well, I know how she is with other animals, but I would feel bad because like one day I remember like our friend downstairs, he has like a really big dog. I forget what kind of dog, but like I brought Piper down one day and she just kept barking at him. And he got a little too close one time and she just literally like took her paw and just smacked him in the face. Like just like
Yeah.
like
Oh
just
my
like like a little feisty one here. Like
I got a
I
feisty
A little
cat.
bitch
I'm
smack.
sure I'll handle.
she loves her attention. She loves to act like she's in charge.
Aw, look at how cute she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, should we
Go on.
circle back to the original question of how
3
that
months.
business Discord came
Oh yeah,
along?
the business just
How it
do
got
it.
started?
Did we just talk for like 30 to
Actually
40
no,
minutes
because
and not
we've been
even
talking
answer
about
that?
the first 3 months. Like we kind of like talked about like the business Discord and everything else.
We didn't talk
We
about
went-
how it got started, though.
Yeah,
We
no,
did,
like
so
we
now
literally got to
so
that and then like we went
we jumped
super
no,
off
but we
track.
also like went to we talked about her past 3 months and then that went into everything else. I mean, like
Yeah.
that's because I mean, even like because it was more so to streaming and everything else, and we've gotten to more so talk about and hear your journey.
But
so,
it was
like,
literally-
we are
it was
still on track, even if we're off a bit. We're still on track. This is
But
first
Yeah.
episode.
I was laughing in my head because like during
Yeah.
that whole like conversation we just had with everything else, like I think you were either talking or Matthew was talking, and I was just thinking like, did we ever answer that question that, you know, like
We just never asked
like
the
of
question.
like
yeah.
how it came to be? Like I feel like
Mhm.
we did, but we wouldn't be
Yeah.
talking as long as like
We
if
didn't
did.
ask the
And now I feel bad because I know we didn't, and I'm like
Fine.
thinking in my head, still talking about this other stuff, and then it's just like
Yeah.
I can't even answer. Like I can't even like keep on track with the questions that I ask.
Right. So like, how did it get started though? Like,
So after my first semester at UCF, I had been using like GroupMe links because that's what people were sending me.
okay.
And fall
Always.
semester hit, and I'm taking a full schedule, full 5 classes, fall
Oof.
semester, and I was just having a horrible time on GroupMe. And by this point, I had been streaming for like 8 months. I had already made a
Okay.
Discord server for my Twitch, and I was just getting really frustrated because things were happening on GroupMe, and anyone who uses it like academically probably knows this. There were trolls. The worst part, the trolls who come in, and because they didn't, whoever made the GroupMe chat didn't set up the permissions right.
Yeah.
Trolls would come in and literally just remove people from the chat. They would block them or like kick them out of the chat, and you were unable to re-access it with like a link or anything unless someone physically brought you back in.
Right.
Like they were like, add so and so to this group chat. So that was the worst because I got removed from a group chat a handful of times.
Yeah.
And I had 2 class chats that got deleted and remade at least 3 times. At least 3 times. So if you're not active on it and suddenly you don't have your marketing class chat anymore and you need to ask them a question, it's not there anymore, and you don't have a link to go anywhere else, like, oh, well,
You're
you should
fucked.
have a
Yeah.
link. So that sucked. And then what really ticked me off, other than that, was just like the repetitive questions people would ask, people sending like study guides in there and then it getting lost in chat. Even though there's like a gallery feature, like it still gets lost in chat. People like ask the same questions. And you know, obviously these are your classmates, you're going to want to get to know them. So people would have really off-topic chats in this chat, and you'd go and you check your GroupMe and you have like literally thousands of messages unread. And it was just like too much. I'm like, listen, if I just made like, not just me, but like if we, like I asked everyone first, I'm like, hey, how does everyone feel about making a Discord server for this specific class? It was for my marketing class. This one had,
Remember
I
that
think
was
by
in
the
there.
end of the semester, we had 4 different class chats going at the same time.
We did. Like there was so many people that like I was just like, why are they making so many new group chats?
It was so unnecessary
Right.
because like trolls were coming in. Then I think someone like released a test question into the chat, and just
Yeah,
like
everyone started freaking out, and then
yeah,
like
so I asked everyone, like, how would you feel if I just made a Discord for this? That way we can have an off-topic chat, because that one also was one of the chats that had the most off-topic conversations. And it's like people would ask questions that would just get lost because people were talking about fucking cars or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like,
remember
what if I
that. It
made
was
a
super
Discord
annoying.
server for this class? And like we can have like an academic channel where like you ask questions about the class. And then we can have a bunch of off-topic stuff, like just a general chat if you want to just talk to your classmates. We can make one for like cars. We can make one for pets, like whatever off-topic you want. Like, I'm so sick and tired of all these trolls coming in because people don't know how to set up these chats and whatnot. So I made that, and then about halfway through the semester, I was like, guys, what if we made like a college business one that had like everyone's classes in there? And then that's how that started.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, I, I
Right.
I remember being in those group meetings and just like asking one simple question like about a homework assignment or anything like that would just get super lost. There was even drama at one point in the
Oh,
end
that
of
was
like
definitely worse. That's what I forgot. That was the funny part that I forgot to add
yeah,
in.
like there
Yeah.
was like people like shit talking each other and like I don't
Yeah,
like
there was so
I was
much
like
drama.
when did this come around? Like
You
what
know what
is
drama
this going
I
on?
got wrapped up into? This is the story that actually officially takes me off of GroupMe.
Right.
So I'm in this GroupMe. I made no GroupMe chats, okay? I was not the owner of any. I was not a moderator in any. I don't even know if GroupMe has a feature where you can moderate, okay? I'm just in this GroupMe chat. I'm in it kind of often. Like, I was one of the more active people in there. And I don't even know what I was doing. I was just inactive on it for like basically an entire day.
Yeah.
And then I noticed like a week later, I checked my college email, and the teacher for that class that I was in the group chat for emailed me and was like, we need to set up a Zoom link for a situation that happened in the group me that you are an administrator for. And when are you available to have this conference and discuss your consequences, I think she said.
Oh Lord.
I was like, consequences? Administrator? The fuck are you I don't even know who these people are that she mentioned in the email.
Right.
Like a situation that happened between these two people in a group chat that I was supposedly the administrator for. And
Was
I was
this that same drama that we were talking about, or like was this a different situation?
maybe. So what had happened, a troll came into the chat. I had no idea this even happened. I was inactive that day, never saw this conversation. I had to ask the group chat. I'm like, guys, I got an email from the professor. She thinks I'm an admin. She wants to know what happened between so-and-so and so-and-so. I was not around for this. I'm not the admin, but I need to like explain to her whatever happened for whatever reason. I'm going to tell her I'm not the admin, and I'll just tell her what she wants to know. And they told me a troll came into the chat and they started ranting some like really pro-Trump stuff because this was right around the election. And like
Okay.
borderline not socially acceptable things as well.
Was just saying a bunch of stupid kind of like was it just socially
Yeah, we
unacceptable
won't get
shit?
into it just because
Yeah.
it's like really political type stuff.
Okay.
And then what they did, someone
uh,
talked back to them. They were like STFU or whatever, you know, like no one wants to hear that. I think they made some snarky remark about like how if you need help, like UCF has like mental health line or whatever, you know, someone made that comment.
Right.
And he stole, I don't know if it was that specific person's profile picture, but he stole someone's profile picture who was in that conversation, changed their name to that name. So they were posing as them, and everyone believed it was him. And then he started continuing on with like the conversation and like all this political jargon and stuff that he was talking about. And it was like it got really heated. Like people were cursing. There were some very violent things said. And I was like, wow. And the teacher thought because I was the administrator for this and I let this
that you
happen,
just let
I
that
should
go,
be
like
Yeah.
you were
held
just letting that
accountable for
happen.
this.
I
Yeah.
cannot believe they fucking went just posed as them and tried to do
Yeah,
that
which
shit.
I'm like, that is such a huge security thing. And if we, by this point, I think
Identity theft is not a joke, Jim.
And like, I'm pretty sure I already had made the group or the Discord by then. So I was like,
Right.
guys, this never happened on Discord. Like, never.
You got to
Like,
go through a lot of things to change your name, this, and the other thing. Yeah.
profile picture and change their name, and I would like
Yeah.
boot them out.
Yeah.
You know, which is another thing. Discord, you can have rules, and if people break those rules, you
You're
get
out.
repercussions for it. So,
I want.
Yeah.
I was mostly pissed that the teacher was accusing me of being like
I mean,
I was supposed to be responsible for this. Meg the Stalin was the administrator of this group me, okay? Like what a
yeah.
fucking joke.
I mean, I kind of
Did
don't
she
blame the
check in
teachers
often?
sometimes because it's just like, I mean, they know about GroupMe, but they're not all too in depth of it. I mean, like that's obviously a pretty serious situation. So
Yeah.
it's like, obviously they're not gonna like, they're like
But like
they say
you
this
as an
stuff to scare
administrator.
you. Yeah, they say this stuff to scare you. Obviously, they made a mistake thinking you're administrative, but like obviously, like that you didn't have any consequences for it because it's not a situation that you were in.
Right.
I
Mhm.
really hope that guy actually gets like like a lot of consequences because
He
that's like,
left the group chat after that. And that's another thing about GroupMe. Once you leave the group chat, there is no way anyone can possibly find you again.
yeah,
Because it's not like you get their phone number or anything with that profile. They can change their name. Obviously, if you look up their name, there could be a
And you
dozen.
had
Names.
already
It's
done that
literally
before.
someone else's name.
Yeah.
You know?
I like that like all the shit that was going on in that group me. I basically, for actual serious stuff in the chats, I would just pick out the people who would actually take them seriously. That's actually how I started DMing you because I was like,
Yeah.
oh, she's actually taking this seriously. Like she sounds like
Right.
she knows what she's doing. Maybe she can help me, with
Yeah,
like
which is
questions or
what like
this.
a lot of people wound up doing actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there was like a few people that I texted individually because I'm like, I'm so
Wow, I
sick of it.
forgot whoever DM'd me.
Yeah, like I was so sick of this group me, and I was just like, yo, like, can you help me with like this or that? And then like a lot of people like didn't reply immediately. You replied pretty fast,
Yeah.
considering like because I was just some like random like person.
Yeah.
You
Well,
probably
at the
like had
time,
that.
I didn't have a job. I was literally only working on school and Twitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like
so
always on my phone.
yeah, and then like I don't even remember like how we added each other on Discord, but like and then that happened, and then at that point I remember you were just making the College of Business Discord, and then Matthew was basically like, yeah, I really need someone to help me like, fix up my Discord and everything like that. I'm like, oh, I know the perfect person for you. and
Yeah.
then like you were kind of just dabbling around with Discord for a little bit, like you didn't really take it like
And
as
now
seriously as you did, and then now you're a
partnered.
Discord partner and
Yeah.
that sorts, which is crazy.
But yeah.
And
And
it was just like one thing led to another at that point.
I think it's like the crazy, like not even crazy, but the amazing thing that you were able to do is like you were able to like not only like spot the problem, you were able to like actually create the
Create a
solution to it.
solution,
And
yeah.
that's the
Mm.
most impressive thing. I mean, that's everything. I mean, even like with even streaming and everything else too, it's also like you'll be able to do that even as you like do more streams and like plan more stuff
Yeah.
out, all that kind of shit. And that's just really like the key thing. And like it sounds like you're more so like, especially now, you're more settled in with everything going on that's happened like over the semester. So that's like really fucking impressive.
Yeah. But at the same time, like spotting a problem and trying to fix it is kind of a personality trait for me at this point, and it
Yeah.
can get me in trouble at sometimes because sometimes I try to insert help where help was never asked nor wanted,
Yeah.
which is something
And
that,
sometimes
people
just want
grow
you.
and they learn, and
Yeah.
that's something that I learn as I get older. So,
Yeah.
like when I made the Discord and I released it at the beginning of the semester, I had a team of moderators at the time, and we've cycled through like half of them at this point. Like they just didn't want to be a moderator anymore, and we had to like replace them. And I got a lot of backlash for the server. They were like, "This thing is stupid." Blah 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 blah. Like
Let's
people found it confusing, which was like the biggest thing I was trying to make because I knew a lot of people in College of Business were not
never
familiar with
used, yeah.
Discord. Never heard of it, never used it. So when we were making it, my entire goal that I was pushing to everyone who was helping me, I'm like, this needs to be the most comprehensible server you've ever seen. I don't want it to be like any other Discord server you've been in that's all like fun with reaction roles and like all these bots and everything. Like, I don't want to confuse them with terminology with all this stuff, which is why there's like a pretty shitty tutorial now. It's super freaking outdated at this point. We need to make a new tutorial.
Honestly, like when I first joined, it was a little like I knew a little bit of Discord, but like I was just like, wait, I have to go through like this, and that to
Yeah,
see
there were a
the
lot
other
of
roles
steps.
in the
We've cut the
channel. Like,
steps like in half at this point just to like get people less confused.
yeah,
Originally, the original plan before we ever released it was you had to upload your UCF ID, like a photo of it, to
no
a form,
way.
and we would have to manually give you the student role because we
I
only wanted students in there. Because like trolls were the number one reason we made the server. Like number one reason was like we fucking hate trolls. They're not getting in here, so you need to be like a UCF student.
I thought I got in there pretty early to the Discord, but then I was just
We
I
ditched
never
that
had to
idea
do
like
that.
long before we ever sent
Yeah,
out an invite link.
that's
Like
a
that
lot.
idea, because we were like, well, the
But,
class we're in has like 1,000 people per class.
I think I had a few Discords before this, like, that people made it for the class and everything, like individual classes. So they're a lot more simplistic than what you did. Like I remember for physics, and it was like the same situation. Like people were super confused, this, that, and the other thing with that. And honestly, I try to tell people, because even people who don't know Discord, like, listen, Discord is probably one of the best communication like centers that you can
It
have
really
for like,
is.
especially for students or just
Mhm.
anything in general that you want to have. I really recommend taking the time to like just learn how to access it than just to like have a simple group me that just is just all over the
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Which is like another thing we were pushing is like the network opportunities that you have on Discord. So like when we got all this backlash, I kind of tried to fight it at first, just like a little bit. I was like, don't you see the cons? Like, this is not going to delete after a semester. Like, this is still going to be here. All your classmates are still going to be here. So if you ever want to reach out to them, you can. Whereas on GroupMe, when the group chat gets deleted, you lose all of those contacts that were in there.
Yeah.
So if you had a friend on there that you had yet to like have a DM chat with, for instance, like you basically lost them until you get like another class. Or like, what if they change the profile picture and their username? Now you really won't ever know them, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
There was like a lot of really unnecessary backlash at the beginning. Like a lot of these, they were like making a whole freaking war out of it. Like it was borderline political how mad people were getting. And I was
Yeah.
like, this is insane. So we sent out like a message. Let me see if I can remember what we said. We said something like, this Discord is not to be like, we didn't make it so that it would be the only communication
community.
platform we could have. Like this is
Yeah.
an alternative if you want to use it. We happen to think it's great. Obviously, we made it. But if you want to keep using GroupMe, if you want to use both of them, go for it. We're just making this an alternate platform that has a little bit more structure than what we've seen on GroupMe.
Right.
So if you want, go for it. Join. If that's not what you want, stay with GroupMe for all we care. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, it'll weed out those people because it's just like you put a lot of time and effort into this. And if these people are gonna complain about it as much as they want to, you could just be like, listen, you don't
Yeah.
have to join. This is literally just to make everything easier for you to communicate. You won't have to deal with everything that we did last semester. And it was just like, if you take the time and effort, it will help and benefit you with the amount of resources that you can possibly have for this. And it's just, it's ridiculous that people like just like, I can't even imagine like someone actually taking the time to be like, this is bullshit. Like, just like
Right.
you just don't
Unless
join
it's
then.
like their own insecure. And the thing is, you have to like when you get like criticism or like critiques on anything, you have to see like, oh, did they just not get it? Like, or is it like their fault? Is it like actually something that I did? Or is there kind of something in the middle? It's like, they weren't exactly there, but this actually might. But you think of like something else as like, this is actually what I could do. Because you're gonna have to go through iterations of improvements on anything that you really put out creatively.
And that's what you did. Like you basically cut the steps in half, like you said. Like I said, when I first joined, there was like a lot of like, oh my god, I gotta do this, I gotta do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like a little confused, and I knew Discord, so it's just like it was a little much for Discord. But I mean, if the average person is just like, what the fuck do I gotta what the fuck do I gotta do? And it's just like, if it's too much for you, then just don't join it. If you actually want to join it and you have questions, then
There's a help channel.
There's a help channel. Like, there's other shit. Like, we'll help you. Just, I promise you this will be easier. Just stick through it.
Yeah, and like
ride the wave.
Exact. And you have to do that with anything that you do. We've had to do that with this podcast. Like even like today, like legit, like even really starting off, like I still like even make mistakes. I was literally like, oh, we're like 5 minutes in. I was like, oh, I kind of saw like a little bit of the chat and everything that we had, and I was like, I roasted Sim and everything for forgetting one of our fill times. And everyone's just probably gonna see that it's like. I was like, that was funny. She was just like, I remembered it in the morning and everything. It was just like, and then you forgot about it in the afternoon.
And you forgot
about it. But no, like, like, the shit that you're able to do is seriously impressive. And, like, I really think, like, whatever it is that you do, either, like, continue streaming or, like, anything that you decide to do, like that mindset and everything in general will be like to your benefits, like, and I think it's
just start a Minecraft server.
You really like honestly like really getting into like those discords and everything like that for anything Minecraft or like Sims and everything like that, you will be able to build your communities and really push to more of those heights that you want. And always like trying to collab, like, which I mean you probably already know, and Christian left me.
Yeah.
All right.
I do have
I'm taking a power
now,
up
actually that I want to mention. For my Twitch, I have a competition with another streamer of like a friend of mine from the UK. His name's Connor Riley. If anyone wants to add him on Twitch.
Well, if you send me the link to the
He's
like, you're in a competition.
Well, we're having a competition right now. If I get to 250 followers before he does, I get $50.
Okay.
And if I lose to him,
like gifted subs,
I have to play a scary game, and I'm a big wimp of scary games. So
I got the perfect scary game if you lose.
Yeah, he's got a few. At first, it was Phasmophobia because when we made this bet, like that was kind of popular at the time.
Yeah,
it'll come now it's not as much. You should do a single player with Alien Isolation. That would be a lot of fun.
We have like a VR too, so I could like actually.
Yeah,
I'd be terrified. I'd probably wet myself on stream.
Probably.
So if you want to follow Connor Riley and do that, or if you want to follow SimizenJ on Twitch, which I would much rather prefer.
Those links will be down in the description.
100%. I also wanted to comment.
You have to send me Connor's Twitch, by the way.
Yeah, I'll send
it. Sorry about that.
I also wanted to comment earlier, like it was nice to actually hear like that you like and like have a nice community from your Twitch and everything for that, because I mean like. Do you ever feel like, obviously like the biggest question being a female streamer, like, I have other friends who like are female streamers and sometimes they get like a lot of random guys. I actually had to talk to like one of them because I was looking at one of their chats and this guy was being like super like thirsty, like being like really creepy. And I'm like Ash, you need to like, you need to do something about that guy or whatever. And I feel bad from time to time because like I've seen a lot of these female streamers like deal with it. It's like shit like that, and it's just like God, like I mean a lot of them like they poke fun of it, or they kind of like giggle like ha ha ha, like they kind of like go into it as much. But like I mean I've seen your streams, obviously you're not like that type of person to just be like try to bank off of just being like a female streamer. Like no, I'm a streamer that just happened to be a female,
It's more like
that sort of thing.
You're not streaming for the purposes of like banking off of like sexual appeal. You're actually like you care about like the games that you play and like all the content that you put out.
For the most part, I really like building a community of people that I can kind of like talk to. It's kind of sad, but I feel like when I moved here at first, I had 0 friends. Like, I only knew my 2 brothers and their girlfriends that lived in this area, and then my own boyfriend that I moved in with. So when I started streaming, I was like, I kind of need friends. I don't have any online friends either, and I really want to like have some online friends that I can like chat with. They can chat with me.
Yeah, and that's all that it's about. You want to be there for the community, and like the community will always like uplift you and like help you out with like whatever, like they're always pretty cool like that. And the thing is, when it comes to even certain shit, it's you know, that's I think the benefits of like even really doing that. Like the fact that you love building communities, like you will thrive on Twitch. Like you will have a
Yeah.
point, like you'll be
100%.
on like some point in the future, and you'll like build your communities and everything like that. And we're hoping as like we also expand more of our content too and everything to do other shit. Like I've said it to Christian, we've said it to you, but like you will definitely be on for more main stage stuff. So like, yeah, no, because I mean, you do.
I'll just get you into like FPS games, so then we can all like collab.
Honestly, we'll do a bunch of things. Like we could do like
We'll
a
do
bunch
like
of.
we'll do a co-op horror game.
Honestly, GeoGuessr would be the game I actually want to do. Like,
Oh my god, have
if-
you not seen my GeoGuessr Twitch streams? Maybe I'll do that next time I stream.
you actually, honestly,
I was never taught geography.
I wasn't really either. Like, I knew some stuff to an extent, but like that was more like in elementary, really. But
I have
I
no
don't
idea
even
what
know
game you're talking
landmarks. Like, you could show me a photo of a landmark, and if it's not like the Statue of Liberty, I'm not gonna know it.
right,
You don't know
and-
the stone hedges? Oh well. Oh well.
I was either never
Wait.
taught these things. I know geographic, like geography. I was never taught. Right, geography. Yeah. I mix up
Yeah.
geography and geometry sometimes. That's like a really blonde thing that I say sometimes. So I had to make sure I didn't say geometry.
I
Geography.
can't wait to explore the geometry of the world.
One of my first streams, they made me play GeoGuessr, and I actually said geometry like the first half of the stream. It was really embarrassing and really funny.
Clip it, clip it, clip it, clip it.
Clip it, clip it.
I don't think anyone knew how to clip at that time. I had such a
Yeah.
small like audience. It was mostly family and like a couple random people.
Yeah, whatever your Discord
Does your
is,
boyfriend
we
stream
actually,
too?
Yeah, Keanu
No?
Reeves. Like, does he?
Keanu Reeves?
Keanu Reeves.
No.
No.
No, which is funny because I feel like he'd be fun to like
Is
watch.
he a good?
but
Is he a good gamer?
I'm biased. I'd say so. He
Like-
plays a lot of RPG games.
Okay. Does he go
Most
absolute
of
poggers
that-
and everything?
Huh?
Does he go absolute poggers and everything?
Maybe? I don't know. When he games, he has his own room. I have my own room. We just let each other be, unless we're playing Minecraft together. It's a little different. Yeah. Like on my streams, actually to tie back to like being a female Twitch streamer, I often have my brothers and my boyfriend are on my stream whenever I like play Minecraft, for instance. And typically one of my brothers, or at least a couple of them, I have a lot of brothers, by the way. At least a couple of them are like watching my stream when I'm on, and maybe they're not actively watching, but they'll like chime in every now and then.
Yeah.
And there are mods on there as well, so they kind of help keep like creepy guys away, which is kind of
Right.
nice. And when they're
Do you
not,
have? I remember. I didn't really remember as much. You like. I remember early on, you didn't usually have a webcam and stuff like that. I don't know. Like for female streamers, like I feel like that's a big difference to have is like that cam versus no cam. But I've seen in other streams you've had cams on as well. Like you know,
I turn it off every now and then. Like sometimes, like I am a very expressive person,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
sometimes it's just not there. Like some days I'm just like, I can
oh,
have
I have the
my
blankest
voice, but
face
my
sometimes.
face isn't really expressing it, so I'd rather just have my camera off those days because I'm like, no one wants to see me talk like this on my stream.
Like you saw me game earlier. Like literally, that's the same face I make for every game where I
Like,
just have
yeah.
this
You don't want to
focus
force
face.
You don't want to force yourself to be anything, but it's like also at times like, you know, it's just like as long as you're like interacting, like you're being natural, that's fine. You know, your
Yeah.
community will.
It's
always,
really
like-
nice though to have like your brothers and boyfriend like basically
Yeah.
protect you like while you're streaming, like
Yeah,
just to be like
that
you know,
along
just,
with
like,
just like I feel like a lot of my audience is guys, but I think that's also just Twitch in general
Yeah.
has a lot of guys, and I've made some pretty good friends on there who
I
are
would
moderators and will definitely like kick anyone who's making like sexual comments.
Yeah.
Obviously
Yeah,
they tease me, but nothing.
yeah, like there's like some harmless teasing, but like you know, sometimes there can be harmless teasing, but then it can be borderline
Yeah.
creepy at points.
Oh, yeah.
And like the whole like comment like it's mostly guys. I would agree, yeah, it's mostly guys, but there's actually a surprising amount of other like female like you know
Mhm.
people like Twitch
Yeah.
like people that just like go out and just watch Twitch. I mean, like for girl streamers, obviously like mostly it's sometimes gonna be guys, so it's like
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know, unfortunately that's the reality of times where it's just like
Yeah.
they'll go on and watch you.
I really haven't had anything like too bad happen on Twitch. I think when I first started streaming, I had DMs open because I'm like, yeah, you know, that'll help build the community. I can build some friendships, and that was a mistake. Yeah, and then another mistake I made was someone, I mean, it wasn't a mistake at first. It was actually really nice. Someone was trying to build their portfolio, their artwork portfolio, and made webcam overlays, made Twitch panels for me, made like starting and ending soon screens, made like a lot of like digital stuff for me because I had nothing. Like I think what I was using at that time was like a general template that everyone had.
Yeah,
And
that's
they
what I
made me
have
a
right
very
now.
custom one that was really nice. But after he helped me and he said it was like free and everything, I'm like, great, like thank you so much. I'm definitely gonna advertise this everywhere. And he leaves me be for some time. And then he comes back. And he was making very forward suggestions towards me. And I'm like, this is really creepy. It got to the point where I had to block him. And once I did that, I felt like I couldn't use his work anymore. So I had to go and kind of go back to like my boring template. But like I'm talking like late night texts. Like he didn't have my cell phone number or anything, but I think we only had like DMs on Discord.
Like the shit that Christian sends me, or like is it just like actually creepy?
Like genuinely creepy.
See,
Like you know, like
creepy stuff.
like that. I'm like,
yeah.
sorry.
So he literally.
I was a minor too, because I didn't. Yeah, I think I told him I was like 17, because I'm like.
Did he ever say that message like, you know, how long you 17 for?
I don't think I don't really remember.
Oh my
really
god.
This was way back in like April of last year. It's been a year.
It really has been a fucking year.
Like, oh my god. But yeah, that's a new one for me to hear, of just like someone to be like, yeah, I'll do all this free work for you. Yeah, yeah, what you doing later?
Like the conversation was like great, and then he left and he let me be, and like occasionally he'd come into my Twitch chat and be like, wow, it looks great. And I'm like, yeah, it's great, guys. If you want artwork, like go to this. Like I felt like we had a pretty mutual support system going. And then just
that mutual support system,
horny as shit.
Yeah, and it's a facade.
And he knew I had a boyfriend. And my boyfriend was active in the chat too, so he didn't say anything in the Twitch chat. It was always in Discord DMs.
Yeah.
Like the first time he made a slightly like awkward comment, it wasn't anything like really forward, but it was definitely like he called me cute or pretty or something like that. I was like, and I like very directly, because I am a blunt person.
Yeah.
I very directly told him like, hey, now that we're not working on like artwork together, I'd prefer that you just message in the Discord server that I have for like my Twitch stream if you want to talk to me, because I like to build a community that way. Other people can chime in on the conversation. And he like went off on a tangent for a while, and then he like left me be, and then came back and started making like more sexual.
Because doubling down on that always works. So I've
that's what I mean. Like if you get rejected once, you know,
you double down
just gotta,
and like go a lot.
Just gotta keep wearing them down, you know, and go like, you know what? All right, fine.
Yeah.
Matthew, don't think Caleb's using me for my good looks, do you think?
I think Caleb's using me for my good looks, actually.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know I'm working. I know I'm gonna be working with him to work on my stream stuff. But
Caleb's actually like the fucking shit as a graphic designer. You gotta meet him.
Yeah.
You actually do have to meet him. He is actually the fucking shit.
I'm trying to rebrand my entire Twitch and everything like that, but there's really not much I can do with the name of Surfing Seaman.
There it is. Yes, there is. You better stick with it. At least keep that as your YouTube and everything, because like.
I don't know, Sim. How far do you think I could take that name?
Oh my
God. How low can you go?
I feel like YouTube would tear that shit down.
It's like, listen, this isn't as pornographic as we thought it was gonna be, but man, it just makes everyone like.
Like the amount of branding that could go. I love it though, because it does get a chuckle out of people. Like, okay, so like the funny thing behind that with the creation of that name, because my friend and I, like, he used to create the most ridiculous gamer tags and always got them reported. Like he even stated, like, I've definitely spent over $200 just having to change my gamer tag like every month or so. And like, Xbox One, that changed because like it used to be like in 360 days you used to get it reported, then you get then you can change it to a free one, and then they realized they were doing that and they're like, oh, okay, we'll give you one, and then if you want to change it, you have to spend $10.
Yeah, which is so ridiculous.
And he
Yeah,
had,
Microsoft's great.
oh my god, his
Microsoft
names
is
he had.
phenomenal.
His most famous one that he had that I thought was hilarious was Smacky My Sacky. Smacking. He had Greasy Balzania, Fishy Poontang, Pull Out Weak as Fuck,
God.
Up in Her Guts,
I
and
feel like I've seen that one.
and he would give you an entire. Oh yeah, and he was actually the one that had Salty Semen on there, but now I'm Surfing Semen. I actually got my name reported one time, but then I just changed it around a little because I think it was Surfin Semen, but then I just changed it to a G. Just okay. The key to not have it reported as much is that you have to have it as one word. You can't have two separate words. You know what's funny too? I try to make my origin name or whatever, or it was it was Rainbow. It was Ubisoft, and I had my name Surfing Seaman or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, you can't have that name." Seaman was not the part that they had the problem with. They had a problem with surfing. Like I was like, "What?" Like that was the part because I changed instead of G to N, surfin, because it was all still one word.
Yeah.
They couldn't have Surfing Seaman, but Surfing Seaman, that was okay. Like that was fine. No problem. I'm
It's like, no, we're okay
what?
with semen. This is how our platform thrives. But like, here's the thing, that
I
surfing's
don't know.
you gotta get that out of here, Jack.
I like it. Like like it's a joke name, obviously.
Yeah.
Like it gets a chuckle out of people from time to time, and they're like, dude, that is an amazing name. I'm like, thank you. And then there's other people who try to trash talk it, like, dude, that sounds gay as fuck. I'm like, dude, why do you think like it's like like
Yeah.
I made the name like it's supposed to be like a joke. Like you're not gonna make fun of my
Yeah,
name
you're
and
not
like
gonna just say
make me
some
feel
like
shit, but
bullshit
Like
that.
like you're using your name unironically or something.
Yeah.
yeah, obviously, like it's just like it's
Mhm.
like that sounds gay as well. Like yeah, got a problem with that? Like what's wrong with that? And then there was actually one comment that I've got was actually pretty funny, like because they took it super serious. Like, dude, are you in the Navy? I'm like, yeah, sure, dude.
I get that. I get why someone would say that though. I get what someone would
Yeah,
say.
I get it now, but
yeah.
I love it. I mean, I just wanted to have cause like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, you have like a short version of your name, like Sim, like we call you Sim, but like then you
Yeah.
have like SimizenJ, like it's like SimizenJ. Like I don't feel like I'm that creative to like kind of like make up my own word
You
almost.
know how I came up with my name? It's not even that creative.
How did you come up with your name?
I like the game Sims, and I'm just like, all right, what's like a clever like play on words that I can do with that? Because there's this one streamer whose name is like Simarchy, I think is how you say it, and it's because she
Smarky.
does like a lot of archeolo. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. She does a lot of building in The Sims. Okay, so she's Simarchy. And I was like, okay, I've got to find like something unique sounding, but kind of like a play on words. And I was like, so what are Sims? I guess Sims are citizens if you think about it. So I literally just replaced the CIT in citizens. I made it SIM, Simizen. Yeah, and then J at the end for my first name, Jess.
Yeah.
So that's creative.
I mean, honestly,
right?
that's more. That's
story completed.
That's pretty creative.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's more creative than how obviously I made my name. But like, because there's like a lot of these like esports people too that like, they have their full name, but then they call them like Sim or like or like Tifu, like, all these other like big time streamers and stuff like that. I'm like, how in the hell did you even create that? Like, it's just like what is this new word you basically just pulled out of your ass, like,
Which
and
is,
then
like,
now.
What I love about my name is, like, I think the backstory to it is so lame. Like, it's so lame how I made it up. I like it just being like a really random word that like kind of sounds nice and flows right.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I feel like mine flows, but like not in the way that it
Sure.
flows, but not in
Seaman,
the way.
It surfs actually.
It does. Well, like, you gotta have a nice flow to your surf, and
but like, you know, I'm talking to Caleb, like, oh, like, how do you want your brand to look? I'm like, dude, I have no fucking clue.
just
Like,
don't put a bunch of
how
semen everywhere. Like, holy shit.
put a bunch of semen
I'm
everywhere.
surfing semen. What? It's so obvious, man. Holy
Like,
shit.
I have to have it to where like the Twitch like community would be okay with it, but like I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like,
Pretty much.
I gotta really talk to them, especially with colors and everything, you know, like, you know, branding and everything. So I want to work with them closely with it. I really want to make it as official as yours, but I don't want to have them like come like
you're sweet,
months
thank
later
you.
to my DMs and just be like, yo, you looking pretty sexy tonight. I'm like, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's definitely not. He definitely wouldn't do that. But no, he's cool.
I mean, not
He's
that I
cool.
wouldn't be invited, but
As I wouldn't be not intrigued, but
no, I wouldn't be.
he's gotta do it right. But
You
no,
just you just
and
gotta
the
go
thing
through the
is too,
proper way.
you have like a fucking good partnership going on. You fucking like, there's no signs like of any like, because like usually in those like circumstances, you have to show like clear interest even the other way. And also, as I'm learning with especially with the other shit, and like Christian knows what I'm talking about, don't try to fuck the people you work with. It's so simple. Try not to. If it's mutual, cool. Don't go out of your way to do it. It doesn't work out. It really doesn't work out a lot. Like, The Office, like, put a lot of bad shit into people's head. Like, honestly. Like, that's not how shit works.
Yeah.
Like, or just even in general, like, the way that people think they're going about it. It's like, you have a mutual partnership. There's nothing out there. And it's like, there's nothing wrong. Like, if you're saying, like, someone looks good, it's like, hey, you look good. It's like, oh, hey, you look cute. And you say it's like a one-off thing. No one's going to think anything badly of that. That's not a bad thing to do. But when you're, like, saying it like that, it's like, stop.
I mean, I've had a conversation with coworkers before, and then like it's just kind of like a mutual thing. I forget like what the conversation was. It was like about relationships, and I'm like, yeah, you're an attractive person, like you know, like sort of like that, like obviously in the sense of like, yeah, like I don't have an interest in you like that, but like I'm stating like, yeah, you are an attractive person.
You are
like,
an attractive
Matthew,
person, but you're. Oh my god! Don't get me hard on my podcast.
I will. That's later for the OnlyFans later.
That is actually for the Enemy 4 OnlyFans. I'm just kidding. He's doing a really great job. That's actually a different like podcast episode, but like he's actually doing a really great job right now.
Actually had a funny story though about like the whole coworker situation. It's probably with a friend of mine. I don't know if I want to like maybe I'll ask if he wants me to make a comment about it. It was really fucked up and funny, but
yeah, no, we definitely will. Like honestly, we will probably have
save it for another time.
We will probably have you on at like another point because like I think Sim has to definitely let the people know her future projects or anything else. Like any other shit like besides like more like do you have scheduled daily Twitch streams? Are you putting out like anything else in general in the future like that at least you can announce now or
on Twitch I stream on weekends. It's a little bit early on Eastern time because I'm trying to accommodate for my mostly British audience who are 5 hours ahead of us.
Okay.
So, yeah, I know. My audience is mostly British. I love it, though. Oh my god, I learned so much about their culture, and I love it.
Rip to Prince Philip, honestly.
Geography, I clearly know nothing about other cultures.
Honestly, first Beyond the Game like group stream is going to be GeoGuessr, no cap.
Yeah, I would love that. I'll definitely be playing GeoGuessr sometime soon, because I know my chat loves that. So Sundays, I typically stream, like, very, very early, because I know that's, like, a work day, or, like, a work night, I should say. For like a lot of people, so I try to do it like basically when I get up and I'm like awake and ready, so right around like 10 a.m. Eastern time. And Saturdays, it's just kind of like it's a really random thing.
Right.
Maybe I stream, maybe I don't. Maybe it's in the morning, maybe it's at night. More likely than not, it's at night though.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay. Any other like shit you dropping your YouTube stuff or anything like that, or any other spicy projects in the future that you're just like so excited about?
I am going to be updating my Discord server at the end of this semester. Once the semester's over, I've already started the updated process. It's nothing anyone can see right now because I have permissions turned off, so you can't see everything I'm doing. You literally only have access to like one channel right now, so it looks really boring. But
Right.
I think there's about like 15 to 20 channels that I have going on right now. I'm going to introduce some more like fun bots, which is something that I've learned while creating the business server is like bots and how to use them, because that was something that was very foreign to me. So I'm hoping to get some like fun bots in there, get some
Rollout.
maybe even do some giveaways now that I'm a partner. Not having to spend money on Discord Nitro, I can actually gift people Discord Nitro instead.
That's awesome.
So,
Discord Nitro.
Yeah.
Cool shit. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. You were an absolute blast to have on. Cannot
Yeah,
wait.
this was a lot of fun. Like I know earlier on before I was like, I just got off of work. I'm starving. Like I'm gonna this is. I definitely want to do like just more like these, just going off each other. Just be like, like like really flow. Like everyone's like, I'm just rambling because I'm hungry. I can't even think.
Yeah. And I love talking to you guys too.
Yeah.
I'd be really happy to join again.
Yeah, honestly, like
can't wait for the collab.
Whatever like projects and future projects, like we definitely want you attached to whatever shit we do. So like honestly, like, and it's because like you do a lot of really fucking good work. Like I'm really happy Christian was just like, oh hey, she does great Discord work and everything like that, because like you have like a lot of shit going on and you have a really good way of like actually approaching not only problems but just like even creatively. I think you really do have a future in doing that. So thank you so much for coming on. Definitely make sure to check out like all her Twitch and Discord shit.
Be respectful.
And be respectful. You fucking thirsty men. You should honestly just have like a hydrate
degenerates.
Thing. So, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe for Beyond the Game. And I think Christian and I are going to be soon gearing up to announce other projects and other content that we're going to be putting out soon.
Gearing up for a lot.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Next time is our episode with Caleb and our graphic designer and everything, who's really amazing.
Ooh, I want to watch that one.
Yeah, so definitely make sure to.
He does amazing work.
Definitely amazing shit. So tune in next time, and thank you guys so much. See ya.